Question 6. A rectangle has an area of 4 meters squared. Write this area in centimeters squared. It's only 2 marks. There's not going to be much working. We need to know one rule. In a meter square. It's meant to be square. More like a rectangle, but never mind. We've got 100 centimeters. Makes 1 meter. And this is 1 meter square, 100 centimeters down that side. So it's 100 times 100. It's times by 10,000. So it's 10,000 times 4. 40,000. Done. We've got question 7 now. It's got this star against it, meaning we've got to put a bit of working in. Here is part of a field. Now we've got this perimeter here. We've got 3 sides labelled with dimensions on. And what's the question? This is part of the field in the shape of a trapezium. The farmer wants to put a fence all the way around the edge of this part of the field. The farmer has 50 metres of fence. Does he have enough fence? You must show all your working. Right, we've got 11 metres there, 10 metres there, 18 metres there. The one we don't know is this length here. And I'm going to call that length C. And it's a Pythagoras problem. We have to work out this length. So the way we do that is we draw a line along here. That's a right angle. Now, because these are right angles here, this is parallel. So this must be 10 metres. And this length here must be 18 metres minus 11 metres, which equals 7 metres. Okay, so we now have a triangle. C, 7, and this is 10. And C squared equals 7 squared plus 10 squared. And so C must be the square root of that. 49 plus 100. And I'll use the calculator for this. And just as I said, this is going to be Pythagoras, so we just put that in. 149, square root of that, 12.206. So, does he have enough fence? Let's add them all up. Eighteen and 12, 30, 40, 51, 51.2. I'll put the 06 in. No, not enough fence. Okay. Question 8. Toothpaste is sold in 3 different sizes of tube. There they are. 50 millilitres, 75 millilitres and 125 millilitres. The 50 millilitre tube costs £1.09 and then the other one's £1.68 and the other one's £2.69. Which tube of toothpaste is the best value for money? You must show all your working. Well, I think what we've got to do is work out the price of, say, 1 millilitre for each tube. And of course the cheapest one is the best. So let's do that. Okay, the first one. 1.09 divided by 50. 0.0218. And now the other one. 0.68 divided by 75. 0.0224. And now the largest tube, 2.69 divided by 125. 0.02152. And these figures represent pounds per milliliter. This one is the cheapest. Now question 9. You have a line here, A to B. Use ruler and compass to construct the perpendicular bisector of the line segment AB. You must show all your construction lines. Let's have a look at it then. A to B. The bisector is in the middle. I'll just put a little mark there. And perpendicular means it's going to be at right angles to it. I think the easiest thing to do is show what it looks like when it's finished and then show how that's constructed. Okay. And here it is. We have these construction lines here with compass and the bisector is drawn between where they cross. Now the distance of these curves here from the A or B don't really matter too much as long as they can cross, but they must be kept the same length. And that's it. Question 10. The coach travels from Bronston to Lusco. The travel graph for this journey is shown below. Okay, this is a typical distance time graph with distance on the vertical axis and time on the horizontal axis. Part A. Work out the average speed of the coach in kilometers per hour for the first 10 minutes of the journey. The first thing to note is the required units are kilometers per hour, while the graph time is in minutes. So we must convert the 10 minutes to a fraction of an hour, and we do this by dividing it by 60 minutes. Also note the units here are kilometers per hour, which tells us how to find the speed. We simply divide the kilometers travelled by the time. And looking at the graph, at the 10-minute point, the coach has travelled 9 kilometers. So now putting it all into an equation, 9 divided by, open brackets, 10 divided by 60, close brackets, equals 54 kilometers per hour. Now part B. The coach stops in Lusco for 15 minutes. The coach then returns to Dronston at a constant speed of 42 kilometers per hour, and we are asked to show this information on the travel graph. Okay, the 15-minute stop. Speed is 0, so we draw a horizontal line for the 15 minutes. And for the return, we can see that the distance is 21 miles, which is half of 42. And as we are travelling at 42 kilometers per hour, this will take exactly 30 minutes. And we draw this as a straight line. Okay, to finish off, we can add a line explaining our reasoning. Okay. Okay, we've got this question, question 11. Solve 3x squared equals 147. Okay, it's just testing our knowledge of powers. So the first thing we're going to do is divide by 3. And I'm going to do that over here. I don't think we need a calculator really. 3's into 14, 4 times. 2 left over, 3's into 27, 9, 49. So that equals 49. So x equals the square root of 49. And of course that's going to be 7. It's important to put down the plus and the minus, because we've got 2 roots. That's that bit. This one, work out the value of 2 to the minus 3. Remember our rules with this. This is a reciprocal. So the first thing I would write is this. That gets rid of that negative bit. And 2 cubed, 2 times 2 is 4, and times 2 again is 8. Equals 1/8. And I think we can leave it at that. And then this one, simplify 3x squared, it's all in a bracket, to the power of 3. Okay, the rule for this is multiplication, and I think it's worth putting a little 1 there. Any number on its own is to the power of 1. So 1 times 3, 3, so that's going to be 3 cubed. And then this is going to be x. I'll show it like this to start with. 2 times 3. And 3 cubed is 3 times 3 is 9, and 3, oh yes, 27. And x to the 6. Put that in there. One last bit. And this question. W equals 4p minus 16. Make p the subject of the formula. So a bit of transposition. Right, we're going to add 16 to both sides. Get rid of that 16. And this 4 is multiplying the p, so we divide by 4. W plus 16 divided by 4. I think we can leave it at this. We don't need to break that fraction up. I'm going to pop that in there. Finished. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. There's a couple of things here. It's a single transformation. So let's just look at a couple of things. Is it a translation, for instance, like a glide? No, there's no way that's going to fit on there. Or reflection. There's a reflection of A. That's not going to look anything like that. Okay, we could try flipping it this way. No, still doesn't work. But if we did 2 reflections, first there in the vertical axis, then we flip the horizontal axis, we get it looking about right, and then we see that that will fit. But the problem with 2 reflections, it's not a single transformation. So there's only one other thing that will work, and that's a rotation. So let's look at that. So A will rotate round to B, and it will have a centre of origin in here somewhere. And we can find that centre of origin by drawing lines. I'll just show that. The corresponding point to the corresponding point, this one here to this one, and this one here to this one, and where they all meet is our centre of origin. In the exam I would recommend using tracing paper, and then by drawing some lines here and then actually moving this triangle round, we see what angle this would be. But from this I can see it's 180 degrees. At the origin 2, 1, we'll write that as a sentence here. Okay, finished. Question 13. Given that x and y are integers such that 3 is less than x, which is less than 7, and 4 is less than y, which is less than 9, and x plus y equals 13, find all the possible values of x. Okay, can't be 3 and it can't be 7, so x must be 4, 5, or 6, and y must be 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright. And they have to add up to 13. Well, I think there's 7 and 6 make 13. And 5 and 8 13. Nothing with 4. So the only x values are 5 and 6. Okay. Part B. On the grid below, show, by shading, the region defined by the inequalities. So we've got y is greater or equal to minus 1, y is less than or equal to 4 minus x, and y is less than or equal to 3x minus 1. Mark this region with the letter R. Okay, well we've got a grid for that, so let's have a look. Okay, y is greater or equal to minus 1. Where's minus 1? There's our y, minus 1, so we have to draw a line along here. And I like to show the region that this is not. So y is greater than or equal to minus 1, that region above this line. So I'm going to shade everything below it. Okay. Now we do the other line. Y is less than or equal to 4 minus x. It's the equation of a straight line. The gradient is minus 1 and the intercept is 4. So let's put the intercept in first. And now we've got a line coming down here. So let's put that one in. And the bit we want is below this line, less than or equal to. So I'm going to shade everything above it. And this final one, y is less than or equal to 3x minus 1. Right, the intercept is minus 1, so let's put that in first. And the gradient is 3, so when we go along 1, we're going to go up 3. Going to go through there, and it's going to go through there. Let's put that line in. And it's less than or equal to, so we need to shade everything above this. And then finally, we have to label the region R. Okay. Question 14. Each year, Winford Hospital records how long patients wait to be treated in the accident and emergency department. In 2015, patients waited 11% less time than in 2014. In 2015, the average time patients waited was 68 minutes. And our question is, work out the average time patients waited in 2014. Give your answer to the nearest minute. Okay, the important thing I think is to recognise what represents the 100%. It's saying less than in 2014, so 2014 represents 100%. And I think the way to do it is to work out 1%. So we had 68 minutes divided by 100 minus 11, and then we're going to times that by 100, which would be the 2014, and we should get our answer. 76.404. That'll do. And so to the nearest minute, it's less than 5, so that's going to be 76 minutes. And part B now. The hospital has a target to reduce the average time patients wait to be treated in the accident and emergency department to 60 minutes in 2016. Work out the percentage decrease from 68 minutes to 60 minutes. Right, 68 minutes in this case represents the 100%. So if we find 1% first of all, and then we divide this into 60, find out what percentage that is. So that's how much is left. What we're asked to is find the decrease. So we have to take that from 100. Okay. Question 15. We have this circle with an internal triangle and another triangle extending from it. Okay, let's map this out carefully and read the question. B, C and D are points on a circumference of a circle, centre 0. And this line here, BOD, is the diameter of the circle. AO equals 7 centimetres, angle ABO equals 90 degrees, angle OAB equals 35 degrees, and the last bit, angle DBC equals 70 degrees. So what is our question? Part A. Explain why angle BCD is 90 degrees. So we have to write a sentence. Looking at the circle, we see that angle BCD is in this semicircle here. And the rule is an angle in a semicircle is always 90 degrees. Or another way of looking at it is an angle at the circumference is always half that at the centre. And the centre is a straight line. So it is 180 degrees. A sentence like this will be fine. Moving on to part B. Calculate the length of BC. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. Let's move the diagram. That's better. Okay. We have to find this length BC. Alright. It is a trigonometry problem. So first put down SO, CA, TOA. To find BC, we need the diameter, and for that we are going to need the radius, and to find the radius we need to start with this triangle ABO. Okay, so we have the hypotenuse, and we know this angle 35 degrees, and the radius represents the opposite side of this angle. So we need to use SO, which contains the opposite and hypotenuse. Sine 35 degrees equals opposite over hypotenuse, which equals opposite over 7 centimetres. And bringing the 7 to this side gives 7 times sine 35 equals the opposite, which is the radius. And twice the radius is the diameter, So 14 sine 35 equals the diameter, BD. Okay, for now I will leave the diameter just like that, rather than calculate it. Right, now on to this second triangle to find BC. This time we have the hypotenuse, which is the diameter, and this angle of 70 degrees, and we need to find the adjacent, BC. So we use CA. Cos 70 equals the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And taking the hypotenuse to the other side gives hypotenuse times the cosine of 70 degrees equals BC. But the hypotenuse is the diameter, which we have a formula for here. So putting it all together gives us 14 times sine 30 degrees times the cosine of 70 degrees equals BC. And using the calculator, just to use brackets, BC equals 2.74644,573. To finish off, we are asked to give the answer to 3 significant figures. This is the most significant, then this, so we look at the fourth. If it is 5 or larger, which it is, we round this 4 up to a 5. So we get 2.75 to 3 significant figures. And that is it for this week. We'll finish this paper next time. If you like these videos, please click the like button, and if they are useful and you would like to see more, then please subscribe. Thank you for watching.